Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2024 annual Gala dinner hosted by the Australian Business Summit Council in this beautifully decorated Serra Grand Ballroom of this magnificent five-star reception centre, Le Montage in Lilyfield, New South Wales. May I start by publicly acknowledging and expressing my deep gratitude and appreciation to the numerous eminent individuals who are present here this evening for generously giving their time to attend this very important event. It's a long list, I want you to bear with me, but I need to single out some people for special mention. His Excellency Dr. Noureddin Benfreha, Ambassador of Algeria, and Mrs. Hoyen Benfreha. His Excellency Mr. Joe Tapera Mhishi, Ambassador of Zimbabwe and Dean of the African Diplomatic Corps, and Mrs. Pretty Mhishi. His Excellency Mr. Rade Stefanovic, Ambassador of Serbia. His Excellency Mr. Beka Devali, Ambassador of Georgia, and Mrs. Nino Ledzava. I think they're here. If not, they may be running a little bit late. His Excellency Mr. Kamal Muftic, Ambassador of Bosnia and Herzegovina. His Excellency Mr. Vitaliano Gallardo Valencia, Ambassador of Peru. His Excellency Dr. Siswa Pramono, Ambassador of Indonesia, and Dr. Marcia Pramono. Her Excellency Ms. Dianela Pi, Ambassador of Uruguay. His Excellency Dr. Chanborey Cheunboran, Ambassador of Cambodia, and Ms. Sophib Keng. His Excellency Mr. Samuel Yao Kumar, High Commissioner of Ghana. His Excellency Dr. Elias Munsha, High Commissioner of Zambia, and Mrs. Gwendolyn Munsha. Her Excellency Mrs. Mercy Osebon Clement, High Commissioner of Nigeria. Her Excellency Mrs. Marie Claire Jeannie Monti, High Commissioner of Mauritius. His Excellency Mr. Robert Cicilo, High Commissioner of the Solomon Islands. Mr. Jorge Cadre, Consul General of Brazil, and Mrs. Elsa Cadre. Mr. Sebastiano Leonardo Canales Angulo, Consul General of Chile. Mrs. Silvina Aguirre, Consul General of Argentina, and Mr. Juan Enrique Bianchi. His Excellency Mr. Mohammed Khalil Morsi, Consul General of Egypt, ambassadorial rank, and Mrs. Sally Abuzaid. Dr. Nguyen Dang Tang, Consul General of Vietnam, and Mrs. Nguyen Thi Tang Hang, and I apologise for mispronouncing anybody's names. Mr. Verdi Kurni Buana, Consul General of Consul General of Indonesia, and Mrs. Fanny Buana. Mrs. Charmaine Aviquiville, Consul General of the Philippines, and Mr. George Prudente. Mr. Kamad Zaman, Consul General of Pakistan, and Mrs. Munima Zaman. Mr. Mohammed Shakawat Hossain, Consul General of Bangladesh. Mr. Lawrence Buhagiar, Consul General of Malta. Mr. Jose Vasquez Rivas, Honorary Consul of El Salvador. Mr. Ami Sahinovic, Honorary Consul of Bosnia-Herzegovina. Dr. Cem Cenkoglu, Vice Consul of Turkey. Ms. Krisa Prokopaki, Trade Commissioner of Greece. Mrs. Simona Bernardini, Trade Commissioner of Italy, and her spouse. Senator Dave Sharma, Senator for New South Wales. The Honourable Damien Tudhope, MLC, New South Wales Shadow Treasurer and Shadow Minister for Industrial Relations, sends his profound apologies due to parliamentary commitments. So the Honourable Tudhope unfortunately won't be here this evening. The Honourable Mark Coure, MP, New South Wales Shadow Minister for Multiculturalism, Jobs, Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology, and for South Western Sydney. Mr. Michael Menya, Mayor of the City of Canada Bay, and Mrs. Mary Menya. Mr. Ned Manoon, Mayor of the City of Liverpool. Mr. Frank Demarcy, Councillor of the Hill Shire, and Mrs. Carla Demarcy. Ms. Wendy Lindsay, former Member for East Hills in the New South Wales Legislative Assembly. Dr. Helen Shamho, OAM, former Deputy President of the New South Wales Legislative Council. Mr. John Caputo, OAM, former Mayor of Warringah. Dr. Joseph Rizek, AM, CEO and Managing Director of the Arab Bank Australia Limited. Mr. Hassan Gençtürk, President of the World Turkish Business Council. Dr. Stepan Kerpiasharian, AO, former Chair, CEO, Community Relations Commission of New South Wales, Ethnic Affairs Commission of New South Wales, and Anti-Discrimination Board, and Deputy Chair of the National Australia Day Council. Mr. Wally Mahana, CEO of the Canterbury Bankstown Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Michael Rizek, OAM, Unfortunately, Michael can't be here this evening. because he's not well, but Michael is the Head of Trade Relations of the Australian-Lebanese Chamber of Commerce. Dr. Luca De Leonardis, Head for Australia and New Zealand at Invest Hong Kong. Mr. Morris Licata, President of Club Marconi. Mr. John Curry, Deputy Chairman of the Canterbury Bankstown Rugby League Club. Mr. Hassan, I think I mentioned Hassan. Mr. Hank Everchek, President of Musiad Sydney. Mr. Ami Salem, OAM, President of the Australian Egyptian Foreign Council, and Mrs. Therese Salem. Ms. Cindy Wren, New South Wales President of the Global Friendship Association. Dr. Zoe White, President of the Australia-China Economics, Trade and Culture Association. Mr. Sam Campione, Chairman of UNICEF for Cancer Foundation. Mr. Vince Agostino, Chairman of the Yellow Diamond Foundation. Mr. Joe Qatar AM, CEO of JC Qatar Developments Pty Limited, and Mrs. Chad Qatar. Mr. Ruad El Ayoubi, Founding Director of Alliance Project Group. Professor Abdul Malak AM, CEO of the AMMM Group, and Mrs. Basma Malak. Mr. Doug Muros, CEO of Trade Window, and Mrs. Mas Muros, Director of Trade Window. Mr. Eddie Chaheen, Managing Director of EC Property. Mr. Frank Mikali, Managing Director of Frankie & Co. Ms. Sophie Najarin, CEO of Anate Corporate. Ms. Nurba Gamrau, Managing Director of Catalyst Construction. Mr. Michael Lakis, Managing Director of Guardian Venue Management International. Mr. Mamun Haq, Managing Director of Greenleaf Cosmetics, all the way from Melbourne. Thank you very much for coming. Mr. Rami Katami, Managing Director of Madison Marcus. Mr. Eric Boone, Partner of Madison Marcus. Ms. Yu Ching Sui, Partner of Madison Marcus. Can I have a little bit of quiet, please? Shh. Thank you. Mr. Yin Chen, Managing Partner of Yin K Lawyers. Professor Mimi Watts, Chair, Australian Chapter of the African Science Research and Innovation Council and the African Union Commission. Another guest up all the way from Melbourne. Thank you very much for being here. Professor Greg Waitley, Deputy Vice-Chancellor UBSS and CEO of Group Colleges Australia, and his lovely daughter Sabrina. Professor Ian Bofinger, Executive Dean of the Australian Academy of Music and Performing Arts, and his spouse, Assistant Professor Tracy O'Leary. Adjunct Professor Art Phillips, Founder Director 101 Music Pty Limited, and Mrs. Susan Phillips. Ms. Ubar Gabris, Founder of Ubar Leadership and Growth Institute, and Mr. Khalil Tartak, OAM. If I have missed anybody, I truly and publicly and humbly apologise, so I ask for your forgiveness. Thank you very, very much. Now, I believe that entrees have been served. Please enjoy those entrees and the network opportunities with your fellow guests, and we will resume the formal proceedings in about 8 minutes from now. So please enjoy. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a point of fact that business is the tour de force of wealth creation and prosperity. To this end, it is essential to promote sound policies, measures, and incentives for capital accumulation in order that the robust spirit of entrepreneurship on which our nation heavily relies will provide sustainable economic growth into the future. Since its registration with New South Wales Fair Trading in late 2018, the Australian Business Summit Council Inc., meaning incorporated, has devoted countless hours and steadfast efforts to assisting Australian businesses to expand, increase opportunities and maximise profitability. Indeed, the paramount mission for which the Council was established is to support the bona fide rights of Australian businesses and enhance Australian entrepreneurialism by means of stimulating, strengthening and furthering multilateral economic links between businesses both within our domestic market and extraterritorially. To facilitate its objectives, the ABSC Inc. publishes an annual business affairs magazine, EKONOMOS, that presents well-written, incisive articles penned by eminent members of the Australian and international business and diplomatic communities to enhance business, trade and investment opportunities with our known regional trading partners and hitherto untapped or underappreciated extra-regional economies. Under my leadership of the ABSC Inc. during the past 5.5 years, with, of course, needless to say, the ongoing support of 6 board members, without whom nothing would ever be able to get done properly, the Australian Business Summit Council Inc. is rapidly expanding to augment its influence and pervasiveness within the business community, both down under and on an international platform. Indeed, the Council will continue to promote business, trade and investment and innovation into high value added and technologically advanced sectors and industries through both large-scale domestic and offshore provision of cutting-edge management, infrastructure and services capabilities. As the founding president, and on behalf of the Board of Directors of the Australian Business Summit Council Inc., I heartily commend this peak management consulting organisation for its advancement of Australian business growth at home and in furtherance of promoting lucrative business, trade and investment opportunities between our nation and the international business community. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now my immense privilege and pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for this evening. Senator Dave Sharma is a former public servant and diplomat who was the federal member of Parliament for the seat of Wentworth from 2019 to 2022 and has served as Senator for New South Wales since November 2023. Prior to entering Parliament, Senator Sharma served as Australia's ambassador to Israel from 2013 to 2017. His appointment to the latter post at the age of 37 made him one of our nation's youngest ambassadors and the second Australian ambassador of Indian heritage. As a career diplomat, Senator Sharma was also posted to Washington DC and Port Moresby, served as a peacekeeper with the Peace Monitoring Group in Bougainville, and headed the International Division within the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet from 2010 to 2012. Senator Sharma holds a first-class honours degree in law and a Master of Arts degree from the University of Cambridge, and graduated also with a Master of Arts degree in International Relations from Deakin University. Would you please put your hands together to welcome Senator Dave Sharma to give his keynote speech.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much to Frank and the Australian Business Summit Council for that warm welcome and for the privilege of being able to address you all this evening. There's many dignitaries in the room tonight, many Your Excellencies, many Your Worships, some of my colleagues at the federal level of government, the state level of government and local level of government, and I couldn't possibly do you all justice if I started to name you, and I think Frank did that admirably before, but let me just say it's great to be amongst such esteemed company this evening. As Frank said, I was a diplomat for about 2 decades for Australia before becoming a politician, so I feel very much at home here. Unfortunately, I've lost my Your Excellency title. When you're in Australia and you retire as an ambassador, you don't get to keep the title, but it's great to be amongst people who are still representing their countries abroad. And I've had a bit of a career shift. I went from diplomacy to politics, and since going into politics, I've contested 4 elections. I've won 2 and I've lost 2. Not a great record. And I think if I'd stayed as a diplomat, I probably would have enjoyed a little more career stability than what I've had in politics. But nonetheless, it's a pleasure to represent the people of New South Wales, and it's a privilege that I don't take lightly. I wanted to talk just briefly this evening about Australia's connections with the world, because if there is one thing Australia is at its most fundamental, it's a connected nation, and it's our connections with the rest of the world and with many of the countries whose representatives are here this evening that have immeasurably enriched us, both in a material sense, it's made us the prosperous and wealthy nation that we are, but also in a spiritual sense. It's made us a culturally and spiritually richer place for our connections with the outside world. We are a trading nation in Australia. We believe fundamentally in interacting with the nations beyond our shores, in selling them goods, in selling them services, and in welcoming people from overseas to Australia. And whether it's through the many waves of migration that have built the nation that we are today, to many intrepid Australians who go offshore to build a career, to build a name for themselves, to build a business and to export and find new markets. That is the beating heart of Australia. I think we see as we look around the world today that the nature of value creation is changing, and with it, what are the engines of prosperity, what are the drivers of future economic growth, what are going to be the industries that employ people in the future. And we're seeing that skills and attributes that might have attracted a premium in previous times are losing their competitiveness, and new skills and new industries and new sectors are emerging. And business and the businesses represented in the Australian Business Summit Council have a key role to play in the transition that we're undergoing here in Australia. The world's becoming more competitive, the world's becoming more technologically intensive, and the premium that's being placed on the skills, the human capital, the ingenuity and the innovation of our people, and hence of our businesses, matters more than ever. And I know Frank and the Australian Business Summit Council are doing a tremendous amount of work to support new and emerging and innovative businesses and ensure Australia remains at the forefront of technological change and technological adaptation. If I could leave you with just one message tonight, because it's a keynote speech, but I've been given 5 minutes, so I want to be true to Frank's time limit. It's our connections matter with the world more than ever. The world has become a more turbulent place. In many respects, it's become a more dangerous and a less certain place. And people, understandably, in these sorts of environments, have a desire to retreat to what's comfortable, what's familiar, to retreat to home. And we're already seeing political debates and discussions in Australia about seeking to be more self-reliant, seeking to engage less with the world, seeking to decouple, seeking to de-risk, whatever the terminology you choose to use. Now, that might be prudent to guard against important and essential risks, but Australia would not be the nation we are today, and we will not become the nation we hope to become if we choose to cut ourselves off from the world. Australia has been built since our modern incarnation as a nation over 200 years ago by the waves of people who have chosen to make Australia home, and by our intrepid nature as a people going out to engage with the world, to learn from the world and to trade with the world. So I'd encourage you all in business, in government, and of course those of you in diplomacy who do it as a matter of course, help keep Australia strong by remaining curious, by remaining intrepid, by going out there and finding new markets, by going out there and finding new technologies to bring to Australia, and by bringing us the people we need that have made our nation so great. Thank you so much to Frank, and thank you to the Business Summit Council for having me here this evening.
Thank you, Senator, very much for your well-reasoned and insightful address that epitomises your immense wealth of knowledge and experience. We at the Australian Business Summit Council are deeply grateful to you for having taken time away from your busy schedule to attend this annual gala dinner. Can we please have another huge round of applause for Senator Dave Sharma, the Senator from New South Wales. Before I proceed any further, there's a gentleman who I forgot to acknowledge earlier on, and when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't beat around the bush. If I make a mistake, I apologise. So I apologise to the gentleman. I'm going to acknowledge him properly now. Mr. Camille Shalala, dear friend of mine. He's the Editor-in-Chief of the Middle East Times International. So can we please have a round of applause for the gentleman? Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my immense privilege and honour to introduce our second speaker for this evening. His Excellency Mr. Joe Tapera Mhishi is the Ambassador of Zimbabwe and the Dean of the African Diplomatic Corps to the Commonwealth of Australia with accreditation to New Zealand. His Excellency has also served as the Director of the Zimbabwean Ministry of Foreign Affairs and as the Foreign Ministry official responsible for the Americas and international organisation affairs, participating in major diplomatic and decision-making forums for the peaceful, what a lovely word, peaceful resolution of international problems. Ambassador Mhishi was appointed to his current diplomatic role in 2019 as part of a contingent of 18 ambassadors who were appointed by the Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa following his victory in the general elections during the previous year. Please welcome, with a huge round of applause, the Ambassador to Zimbabwe and Dean of the African Diplomatic Corps to the stage for His Excellency's address.
Good evening, Excellencies, dear colleagues. Dr. Alafaci, thank you for this opportunity to come and share and speak to the distinguished guests for a period of 5 minutes on, as you put it, a topic of choice. And I've chosen to talk to you about the mining sector in Zimbabwe. I would like to start from where Honorable Dave Sharma ended, where he was encouraging Australian captains of industry and business to go out there to look for markets, to go out there to look for technology, and I dare say to go out there and leverage on the technology that they have already to bring returns to the Australian economy. In one such sector where they could leverage that technological know-how and reputation is in the mining sector. So allow me now to quickly run you through what Zimbabwe is all about when it comes to the mining sector. Against the backdrop of an increasing interest in the world towards clean energy, Zimbabwe's mining sector has emerged as a major economic player. So this is courtesy of the natural mineral endowment, where Zimbabwe, possesses 60 plus internationally recorded minerals, most of which are in high demand. Among these are the so-called critical minerals that enable the transition to the green economy. And among the minerals in this gamut is lithium, where you find the biggest non-lithium resource on the African continent is in Zimbabwe. The estimates done so far indicate that we have the capacity to supply the world as much as 20% of its global lithium demand. In addition to lithium, we have graphite, manganese, we have cobalt, we have copper, and we have rare earth. So it's a wide endowment in terms of anyone's ability to leverage on those minerals, enabling the transition from the use of non-renewable sources of energy to renewable forms or clean technologies. Zimbabwe has got about 800 companies at the moment that are operating, exploiting these minerals, but you may wish to note that on an annual basis, these 800 companies are generating to the tune of 18 billion American dollars every year. And this is only from 10 minerals out of Zimbabwe's 60 plus minerals. This fact tells you more about the vast investment opportunities that still exist in Zimbabwe's mining sector. Just a few statistics for your interest in terms of resource estimates. Gold with 13 million tons reserves, that is. Platinum 2.8 billion tons. Chromite 930 million tons. Coal 26 billion tons. Nickel 4.5 million tons. Diamonds 16.5 million tons. Iron ore 30 billion tons. While on iron ore, I should say now we're constructing what is going to be the biggest integrated iron and steel fabric in Zimbabwe in a place called Manize, being spearheaded by the Tsingshan group. You will know Tsingshan is a global player when it comes to iron and steel. They are setting up plant in Zimbabwe, and the operations are supposed to start in October this year. And we have copper, 5.2 million tons. Coal bed methane, we have the biggest reserve that has been established on the Southern African part of the continent that is lying in Zimbabwe, and exploration work is undergoing. What are the mining sector investment opportunities in Zimbabwe for those of you that may be interested in that sector? You have provision of finance and technical services. You could be involved in exploratory work. Recently we had, some 2 years back, we had Prospect Resources, an Essex listed Australian company that developed an asset in Zimbabwe, a lithium asset that they then sold. They developed to the cost in developing that was 10 million American dollars, and then offloaded that asset to a Chinese company to the tune of 420 million US dollars. So you can see those of you who are, you have the know-how in the exploratory field, your job is cut out there in Zimbabwe. Extraction, logistics, beneficiation and value addition are some of the opportunities for investment in Zimbabwe. How do you access a mining asset in Zimbabwe? You could actually have a claim, special grant, or you have a mining lease or special mining lease. What falls under that, we can always share more information on that. Then the government of Zimbabwe has continued to adopt investor-friendly policies with a view to making the mining sector attractive. And one of these, I should say that we allow 100% shareholding in the mining sector in all mining operations, with the exception of platinum and diamond. In these two sectors, the investor is required to go into a joint venture with the government on a 51-49% basis in favor of the government. We also allow 100% repatriation of remittance of your dividends, profits, as well as capital. Relations between the mining sector and government in Zimbabwe. For good governance, every 2 weeks in Zimbabwe is convened under the auspices of the Zimbabwe Chamber of Mines and the government representatives, of course the Chamber of Mines representing all the mining companies, so that they periodically look at the challenges faced in the mining sector and to make sure that the industry remains viable. Again, on the labor aspect, I want to say Zimbabwe has a stable mining sector labor market, and that since independence, the stability has prevailed, and that the mining sector labor has been the envy of many foreign investors, primarily because Zimbabwe boasts itself of highly qualified professional workforce. It boasts of hardworking, disciplined, skilled, and semi-skilled workers. A case in point here is the FMG, Fortescue Minerals Group. They have as many as 106 Zimbabweans in their mining operations at various levels. That shows you the influence that we can have from a labor market perspective in the mining sector. I want to say from 21 to 27 April, just last month, we had a delegation of Australian business people coming out of Melbourne that went on a business exploratory mission to Zimbabwe. And while they were there, I was in constant communication or periodic communication with their coordinator, who advised me that the program for their visit there was more than meeting their expectations. And they will be going again to Zimbabwe to finalize on the negotiations that were initiated during their recent visit. In the same vein, I would like to say to Dr. Alafaci, I proposing that we mount a business mission to Zimbabwe by members of the Australian Business Council Summit, and this could be as early as August, because in August you have the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show, which could give your members an opportunity to see for themselves what Zimbabwe offers in terms of investment opportunities. Last but not least, I want to say much of what I've said about the mining sector would apply to a number of countries on the African continent. So Zimbabwe is not all about mining. Africa is not all about mining, but you have other sectors, agriculture, tourism, manufacturing. They also, energy sector as well, as I have already spoken about the transition. Those cut across all the African continent, and take the opportunity to interface, to talk to my colleagues here. I notice a number of African envoys that are here. I'm sure they would want to share with you what it is that you can benefit should you take the decision to explore investment opportunities in their respective countries. With those remarks, Dr. Alafaci, I thank you once again for this opportunity to talk to the distinguished diners. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your kind words, for attending this annual gala dinner, and for addressing the audience of matters of substantial importance for business, trade and investment between Australia and indeed between your countries and all the other countries in the world who are interested in doing business with your wonderful nation. Can we please have another round of applause for His Excellency Ms. Katsiarna Katia Tsiarjinka, I hope I got that right, is a highly trained pianist, an educator, and an experienced professional pianist, currently studying for a Master of Music Performance degree at the Academy of Music and the Performing Arts in Sydney. Katia holds an undergraduate degree in piano studies from the Belarusian State Academy of Music and completed a major in translation and interpreting at the School of Business of the Belarusian State University. She has over 5 years of teaching experience and is also confident and versatile in performing as a solo pianist and accompanist for various ensembles, orchestras and choirs, participating in many concerts and competitions. Katia is passionate about the piano traditions of the Russian classical school with a focus on tone, technique and individual expression. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ms. Katia Tsiarjinka with a huge round of applause. you very much, Katya. As a person of Italian origin who has music in his blood, I can really appreciate that sort of music. So thank you very, very much once again for being here and for playing so beautifully, so masterfully. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for dinner. I can see that dinner has already been served. I hope that you enjoy the alternate sumptuous main course courtesy of Le Montage and the 20-odd minutes or so of conversation and network opportunities afforded to you. Buon appetito, and we'll resume the formalities later on, so please enjoy. It's now my immense privilege to introduce our third speaker for this evening. His Excellency Dr. Cheunboran is the Ambassador of Cambodia to the Commonwealth of Australia with concurrent accreditation to New Zealand. Prior to his current diplomatic role, His Excellency served as an advisor to the Cambodian National Institute of Diplomacy and International Relations, Deputy Director General of the General Department of ASEAN, which of course is the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and Director General of the Information Research and Analysis Group at the Cambodian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, MFAIC, receiving the Medal of the National Defence and the Protection of the Homeland for his distinguished public service. An eminent academic, His Excellency holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in International Relations from the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam, a Master's degree in Diplomacy and International Relations from Rang Sit University, Thailand, a Master's degree in Public Management from the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy in conjunction with Harvard Kennedy School, and a Doctor of Philosophy degree in International Political and Strategic Studies from the Australian National University. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome His Excellency Dr. Cheunboran to the podium for his keynote address.
Thank you very much, Dr. Frank Alafaci, the President of the Australian Business Summit Council, Senator Dave Sharma for New South Wales. I would like to acknowledge my friends, colleagues from the Diplomatic Corps, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my immense privilege and honor to stand before you this evening in a wonderful gala dinner. I would like to take this opportunity to extend my sincere appreciation to Dr. Alafaci for the opportunity, and I'm also very grateful for allowing me to contribute an article on investment opportunities in Cambodia in the 5th issue of EKONOMOS, which will be officially launched later on. Through the publication, I hope that Cambodia is better understood, and the opportunities and potential the country offers can be better seen. Well, Cambodia is known for its cultural richnesses, friendly people, vibrant cities, especially Phnom Penh, beautiful beach across the country, and above all, the temple, Angkor Wat. Later this year, the Sydney Morning Herald ran an article which is quite a provocative title. I would like to quote, "Forget Thailand and Vietnam, Southeast Asia's enticing new travel frontier." That is quite provocative, especially for my friends and brothers and sisters from Thailand and Vietnam. But that article captures the charm of Cambodia. With upgraded infrastructure across the country, including the opening of the new airport in the ancient city of Siem Reap, and soon another one, bigger one, in Phnom Penh in 2025. Cambodia is optimistic about the resurgence of the tourist sector of the country. It is already projected that the number of international visitors to Cambodia would surpass 7 million by 2025, exceeding the pre-COVID peak in 2019. This optimistic projection also means investment opportunities. And as I argue in my article, Cambodia's strong economic growth, with an average annual growth rate of more than 7% before the COVID pandemic and around 6% now up until 2040. Political stability, the strategic location of the kingdom, young and skilled workforce, an open and well-integrated economy make the kingdom an attractive investment destination. In addition to our business-friendly government, what really differentiates Cambodia from the rest of the region is our dollarized economy, almost fully dollarized economy, and a liberal investment framework that allows foreign investors to retain 100%, which you cannot find anywhere else in the world, if not in the region. Dear friends and colleagues, Cambodia's vibrancy must not be seen in the broader picture of Southeast Asia, one of the fastest growing regions in the world. And by 2040, ASEAN as a whole would be the fourth largest economy. And I think recognizing the economic potential of Southeast Asia, the Australian government launched last August a report titled Investing Australia's Southeast Asia Economic Strategy to 2040. I believe that this strategy is very crucial now in order to tap into the potential that Southeast Asia can offer. And I would like to inform you that during the recent ASEAN Australia Special Summit in Melbourne, the Australian government announced several initiatives to implement the Southeast Asia economic strategy, including a new ASEAN Australia Centre, a $2 billion Australian dollars Southeast Asia investment financing facility, and many other initiatives in order to further promote business-linked economic relations between Australia and Southeast Asia. In Southeast Asia, the Mekong sub-region, where Cambodia is located in, has recently emerged as a new economic frontier. The sub-region boasts great economic potential due to enhanced regional integration and connectivity within ASEAN and between the Asian giants, China and India. After the successful implementation of the first phase of the Mekong-Australia partnership, the Australian government has recently announced the second phase with the further budget of 222.5 million Australian dollar in order to address water security, climate change, green energy transition, the support for leadership in the sub-region, and the promotion of the economic resilience in this important sub-region. Nicholas Moore rightly points out in his report that Australia stands to benefit from and of course contribute to the success of Southeast Asia. And there are also many major opportunities for Australian business in meeting the region's thirst for further growth, including in infrastructure, in agriculture, in green energy transition, in technological innovation, so on and so forth. But Southeast Asia, including the Mekong sub-region, is a vast region offering a variety of opportunities and potentials. It is therefore commercially and strategically wise to diversify your economic and business engagement in the region. And in this regard, Cambodia presents a wealth of opportunity for your investment. So I urge you to carefully consider investing in Cambodia and to join the success story of this vibrant and promising nation. In March, we organized for the first time the Australia-Cambodia Business Forum on the sidelines of the ASEAN-Australia Business Special Summit in Melbourne. And you know, in the second week of July, we are going to organize a business trip to Cambodia. So I hope that you can join with us and see firsthand the potentials and the opportunities that Cambodia offers. Thank you very much, and please enjoy the rest of the evening.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I want to thank His Excellency for his clear, concise and succinct account of Cambodia's promising business, trade and investment benefits for countries like Australia. In an increasingly globalised world where the search for and proactive engagement with, as I mentioned earlier, thank you. Where the search for and proactive engagement with hitherto untapped or underappreciated markets has sparked a lucrative diversification of multilateral economic relationships. So once more, let's have a huge round of applause for His Excellency Dr. Cheunboran, Ambassador of Cambodia to the Commonwealth of Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, our next performer, Adjunct Professor Art Phillips, is the owner, director and executive producer of 101 Music Pty Limited and a multi-award winning composer, including 2 Emmy Awards, plus gold and platinum RIAA record awards, scoring over 1,500 hours of original music for broadcast television series, films and documentaries. Art launched his music career in the mid-1970s as a guitarist in Los Angeles, where he made a name for himself as one of LA's top recording session guitarists, working and performing with the likes of Barry Manilow, Minnie Riperton, Burl Ives, The Carpenters, television specials, The Love Boat, Dory Previn, Demis Roussos, The Leathermen, Ron Sedgey, and a long list of television series and feature film soundtracks. Art was musical director, conductor, arranger and orchestrator on live concert tours for Demis Roussos, Dory Previn and John Rolls. He toured as a guitarist for Barry Manilow for over 3 years and produced recordings for Demis Roussos, Barry Manilow, Solly Kellerman, better known or probably known to most of you as Hot Lips from MASH the movie, and John Rolls, achieving a gold record for his production work on John's renowned album Another Chapter. His early composition credits include writing incidental music for the US television series The Love Boat, penning the top 10 rhythm and blues single Here We Go for recording artist Minnie Riperton, and the Motown Records release Now That I Have You for recording artist Tina Marie from the album Lady T. Both Here We Go and Now That I Have You have been re-recorded and sampled by a multitude of rap and rhythm and blues recording artists, including The Roots, AZ and others, and continue to achieve chart positions and record sales. Art is the music composer of over 60 successful production music albums for companies such as FirstCom Music, Sonaton, 5 Alarm Music, Universal Production Music, Bruton, Chapel Recorded Music Library, and the list goes on and on and on. He's also the composer of 32 album releases for his own production music label 101 Music Pty Limited, now with over 58 album releases in the 101 Music catalogue. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a huge round of applause Adjunct Professor Art Phillips, who will now entertain us with some masterful guitar playing. Please, a huge round of applause.
And the only reason why I started to do it, that makes everybody stop and listen. It's always fun. I'll just play another quick selection. One of the oldest Italian songs, and we don't know the date that this was written, but it's very traditional. It's called Santa Lucia. Santa Lucia. And it was written hundreds of years ago. And in 1849, believe that, 1849, it was finally translated to English, and that's when the song became famous for the world. It's a waltz, and in Napoli, yeah, thank you very much, that's good. In Napoli, which is Naples, I hope you've all been to Italy, it's one of the most beautiful parts of the world, I think. But they have gondolas. Of course, in Venice they have gondolas too, but I think they originated in Napoli. And the gondoliers would actually row to Santa Lucia. That's the story.
Professor Ian Bofinger is the Executive Dean at the Australian Academy of Music and Performing Arts, AMPA. Ian began his professional career as a lecturer in cello at the Queensland Conservatorium of Music, Griffith University, in 1998, whilst working with the Queensland Symphony and Queensland Philharmonic Orchestras. He moved to the Central Queensland Conservatorium of Music in 1991, later becoming Deputy Director from 2002 to 2005, and Foundation Cellist of the Lyrebird Trio, completing his doctoral studies and co-founding, with Emeritus Professor Greg Whately, who's here this evening as well, Australia's first virtual conservatorium. Relocating to Sydney, he took up the position of Deputy Dean and Head of Academic Studies and Information Services at the Australian Institute of Music and Manager, TEL, or Technology Enhanced Learning, at the University of Western Sydney College in 2009. Ian returned to the Australian Institute of Music to take up his current position as Executive Dean in late 2009, where from 2009 to 2015, he was instrumental in the rapid growth and development of AIM to become the largest music school in the Southern Hemisphere. He also designed and implemented the second major campus of AIM, which was operational in the CBD of Melbourne at the beginning of 2014. Ian has had a diverse career in music, combining his background in performance, violoncello, said the Italian way, solo, chamber music and orchestral, management and blended learning education design. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with a huge round of applause Professor Ian Bofinger on the cello, with his spouse, Assistant Professor Tracy O'Leary, on the flute, to entertain us with some classical music. Please, a huge round of applause. Wonderful performance, beautiful music. As you know, dessert has been served, so please enjoy your dessert and networking opportunities for the next few minutes, and we'll reconvene for the formal proceedings very soon. So please enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Frank, when we were putting the musical bits and pieces together, made me only one commitment, and that commitment was not to sing. Change of mind, very good. That commitment was not to sing. So, as a result, I'd like to do 2 songs for you. Now, our backing group, who we normally travel with, missed their plane this morning. So as a result, I need you to be the backing group. Now, your part is not all that difficult. In fact, it's only one word, but said twice. And the word is, c'est bon, c'est bon. You want to give it a try? C'est bon, c'est bon. Yeah, I think you can do a bit better than that. C'est bon, c'est bon. Okay. Take it away. C'est bon. Lovers say that in France when they thrill to romance. It means it's oh so good. C'est bon. So I say it to you like the French people do. Because it's oh so good. Take it away, Annie. C'est bon. For the rest of my days I will whisper this phrase. C'est bon. Now, I don't know whether all of you know this, but c'est bon is one of the most popular songs with the medical fraternity. Chiropractors, radiographers. In fact, my brother-in-law is a chiropractor. And I mentioned this song to him the other night, and he said, oh, I sing that to all my patients when I hold up their x-rays. I see bones. I see gizzards and bones. And a few kidney stones. Among the lovely bones, I see hips and 14 paper clips, 3 asparagus tips. Among the lovely bones, I see your spine, and your spine looks divine. It's exactly like mine. Among the lovely bones. Take it away, Art. C'est bon. Lovers say that in France when they thrill to romance. It means it's oh so good. C'est bon. Lovers say that in France when when they thrill to romance. Okay. Because it's oh so good. Thank you very much. Now, just as a final song, we'd like to dedicate this next piece to Professor Francesco Alafaci, also known as Frank. We're ready. You may wish to join me on this one because it's very straightforward. Everything I do for Frank. Every song I sing for Frank. Now some may think he's not much, but we love his gentle touch. Because everything I do for Frank. Every song I sing for Frank. Every speech I make for Frank. Now some may think he's not much, but we love his gentle touch. Everything I do Frank. Take it away, Mhishi. I do for Frank. Everybody now, come on. Every song I sing for Frank. Some may think he's not much, but we love his gentle touch. Everything I do for Frank. Everything I do for Frank. One more right. Everything I do for Frank. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Francesco Alafaci.